Preparing for coronavirus, it's not a matter of if it comes here, it's just a matter of when, according to a lot of folks. And that's why we have experts from UPMC Hammett and the County Health Department here to prepare us all for what we may end up having to deal with as time goes on.
Exactly. So in this segment, we are focusing on questions that pertain to students and the elderly, two important groups to focus on. We've heard about the Erie VA Medical Center screening visitors and some nursing homes limiting visitors for people who obviously have the compromised immune systems. What do we need to stay away from?
As far as staying away from, you want to stay away from people who are ill, people who are sick, people who are coughing or sneezing. I mean, it's not necessarily COVID-19. We have no confirmed cases in Erie County, no confirmed cases in northwestern Pennsylvania. So at this point, disease is not present here as far as we know. So generally stay away from people who are sneezing and coughing.
So, when we talk about groups of people, you know, like we said, they've restricted visitors at some of the nursing facilities. Should young people stay away from older people? Should healthy kids avoid grandparents? Or is that just really taking it to unnecessary extremes?
Sure. At this point in time in Erie County, without confirmed disease, there's really not a risk with children visiting their grandparents.
Okay. So we've wiped out that myth.
Right, so that's okay. And again, like you said, we don't have any reported cases, but we've seen too a lot of universities and schools now where classes are canceled. We just heard Kent State, they're out until mid-April. Obviously they'll have online work, but are you aware of any local schools doing anything that extreme or what they're doing to help keep the students safe?
Okay, our local universities, we have spoken with a number of them, and they have been very actively preparing scenarios for what-ifs. What if we have someone who is exposed and needs to be quarantined? What if we have someone who's actually diagnosed with disease? So I'm very proud of how our universities have been very proactive with this.
Proactive but not reactive just yet because there's no need.
Because there's no need at this point.
Okay.
So what about college students? You know, we saw the group called back from Italy. We saw the other group that was on their way to Ireland that got as far as Newark, New Jersey, unfortunately, and had to turn around and come on back to Erie.
Sure.
I mean, is this something that puts them more at risk or puts a college population more
Especially
at risk?
with spring break, too, because, you know, there's a lot going on in Florida, too, you know.
Okay. Certainly, international travel to the areas that have high rates of disease are of concern. CDC has a wonderful travel website. They list them by levels of risk. And certainly those level 3 and those level 2 countries that are listed on that CDC site, and they sometimes change daily, are countries of concern. It was perfectly appropriate to pull students back from Italy. And certainly they needed to be quarantined when they come back, and that's been addressed with the individuals involved.
And of course, too, the living quarters for kids in college and apartments and whatnot, close quarters, does that increase the risk to exposure?
Well, and anytime there's close quarters, there's certainly a higher risk for exposure. There's no doubt about that.
So what can people do if they think they will eventually maybe have to work from home? I mean, instead of a classroom or a work spot?
That's really a question that people need to ask of their schools and ask of their employers, because that's really going to be decisions by individual companies, individual businesses, individual schools for how they are going to address that.
And as you've pointed out, decisions that really in the Erie area really haven't had to be made.
Haven't had to be made, but are being planned for.
Okay. Stay with us. When we return, a panel will help us answer some of your Facebook questions. We'll be right back.